Om Brahmanandam Paramasukadam Kevalam Jnanamurtim Dvandvatitam Ganganasadrisham Tattvamasyadilaksham Ekam Nityam Vimalamachalam Sarvadi Sakshibhutam Bhavatitam Trigunarahitam Sadgurum Tam Namami.
Dear Seeker of Truth, welcome. This work that we are going to talk about is one of the most sacred dialogues because it happens between two enlightened beings. One is Ashtavakra, the other is King Janaka, which was Ashtavakra's disciple. So in it you will have a glimpse of the instruction of an enlightened being so that you can achieve liberation, and also the vision of how a liberated being stands, acts, what is his experience. So pay attention to these teachings, fill your heart with surrender, devotion, sacredness, because that is the way to enjoy it the most. May it blossom in your heart. May you also find liberation. Moving on, Ashtavakra Samhita, chapter 18th. Peace. Ashtavakra continues, speaking about peace. Verse 11. In heaven or in beggary, in gain or loss, in society or solitude, there is no difference to the unconditioned yogi. So the yogi who is conditioned, who is still in the grasp of illusion, these circumstances matter. But for the unconditioned yogi, this makes no difference. So in a way, trying to grasp the attitude, the stance of the unconditioned yogi, it's good as a north, but understand that this is his exalted state. And there's a high probability for the one who is trying to walk the path of renunciation to use this kind of verse in a way to preserve his attachments. Self-deception is one of the strongest powers of illusion. But for the unconditioned yogi, the one who has transcended all limitations, who has realized the self, there is no difference in either of these circumstances. Where is Dharma, the performance of ritualistic and meritorious works? Where is Artha, worldly prosperity? Where is Kama, sense enjoyment? And where is discrimination for the yogin who has transcended such dual notions as this has to be done and this is not to be done? So all these prescriptions, they are for those who are seeking liberation, for individuals at large, because this also comes with worldly prosperity and sense enjoyment. So it's for all beings, but for the one who has transcended duality, who has realized the self, these things are of no need, they are unexistent. The yogin who is liberated while living has neither any duty nor any attachment at heart, or else there wouldn't be liberation. His actions pertain to the present life only, being merely the effects of his past karma. So, after liberation, whatever is left is past karma, the prarabdha karma, just the prarabdha karma, that karma which has given birth to this body and the life of this body and the death of this body. So this body dies when it has to die, and it is according to prarabdha karma. So this is the karma which is left, and all the actions that are observed in the body of the self-realized one, they pertain to that karma alone. Because he is beyond duties, he has no more duties to fulfill, and bears no attachments in his heart. Where is delusion? Where is the universe? Where is renunciation? Moreover, where is liberation for the great-souled one who rests beyond the world of desires? So the self-realized one is the one who has transcended all desires, has eradicated desires. So where is illusion for the one who has awakened, who has realized the self? There's no more illusion. The universe is also unreal, and this is seen in self-realization. So where is the universe? Where is renunciation if there's no universe? So there's no actual renunciation for the one who has realized the self. The one who hasn't realized the self and still believes the universe is real, still has fears and attachments, renunciation is a must. But for this one, there is no renunciation because he already realized the self. He knows universe is non-existence. So there's no renunciation of that which doesn't exist. And where is liberation? If there's no bondage for the one who has been liberated, the concept of liberation makes no sense no more. For the great soul one who rests beyond the world of desires, who has reached the great shore of liberation. He who sees the universe may try to deny it. What has the desireless to do? He sees not even though he sees. So the one who is under the spell of illusion, that sees the universe, may try to deny it. It is a way of transcending it. What has the desireless to do? The one who has no more desires, because he has realized the self already. What has he to do? Nothing. The highest has been achieved. He sees not even though he sees. Because as the prarabdha karma is still there, he is still aware of the universe. But he knows what the universe is. So he doesn't seize though he sees. He who has seen the Supreme Brahman meditates, I am Brahman. What does he who has transcended all thought think when he sees no second? So, he who has seen the Supreme Brahman meditates, I am Brahman. Well, those who haven't seen them also meditates, I'm Brahman sometimes. But one who has seen is the one who has had already an experience of the ultimate reality, a glimpse of it, of Brahman, but return to dual consciousness. So this one meditates, I am Brahman, to establish himself in that reality. He has seen it, now it's much different. But what does he who has transcended all thought, who has already realized and established himself in the self, so who has transcended all thought, think when he sees no second? If he has realized oneness, there is no second, meaning he hasn't returned to individual consciousness. He has established himself already completely. He has dissolved individual consciousness into the self. So the one who only had a glimpse of the self meditates, I am the self, to push further this identification, which is already possible because he has seen it, he has had a glimpse of it, he has experienced momentarily the self. So he uses this and meditates, I am Brahman. But then after establishing completely in the self, there's nothing else to be done. He indeed controls himself who sees distraction in himself. But the Great One is not distracted. Having nothing to accomplish, what does he do? This is interesting and funny. He indeed controls himself who sees distraction in himself, who is still identified with the body-mind. So he has to control the body-mind. So this is the meaning. But the Great One, who has transcended bodily identification, is not distracted. He is in the state of oneness. And in oneness, there's no distraction because there's no other. Having nothing to accomplish, the highest has been accomplished. What does he do? Well, has nothing to do. All that had to be done has already been done. The man of knowledge, though living like an ordinary man, is contrary to him. He sees neither concentration, nor distraction, nor defilement of his own. So, the man of knowledge, though living like an ordinary man, with normal activities, whatever, eating, walking, the body is moving around, doing his actions that are natural to it from its past karmas. By observation, by mere observation, he looks identical to an ordinary man. But he sees neither concentration nor distraction, nor defilement of its own. He has transcended completely duality. So he doesn't experience nothing like the ordinary man. And his behavior is just apparent. Remember, he is acting like a child in a playful manner. He who is beyond existence and non-existence, who is wise, satisfied, and free from desire, does nothing even if he may be acting in the eyes of the world. So again, the world, this is the perception of the world, of others, onto the body of the self-realized one. They say it is his body. That's not the self-realized one's experience. But this is the point of view of the body. So they see the actions like an ordinary man. But he who is beyond existence and non-existence, who has transcended duality, who is wise because he knows the truth, satisfied because he is fullness, he is blissful, and free from desire. Everything has been accomplished. In fullness, there are no desires. Does nothing, even if he may be acting in the eyes of the world. He is doing nothing. He has no relation with the body anymore. He is not the body, it is not his body. But for the world, that is his body. And he is acting. But for him, he is not acting whatsoever. The wise one, who lives on happily doing what comes to him to be done, does not feel eagerness either in activity or inactivity. Well, actions are coming to that body in the natural course of the prarabdha karma of that body. The wise one knows the truth, knows who he is. He is not the body. He is in fullness, so he doesn't need any fruits of the work of the body. Neither worldly nor religious, none of that. So the body is just doing what is coming naturally. Actions in the body, they are not separate from one another. It's just an appearance. So he does not feel eagerness either in activity or inactivity. He has no purpose associated with those actions. Blown by the wind of sanskars, the desireless, independent, free and liberated person moves about like a dry leaf. So blown by the wind of sanskars, of tendencies, the desireless, independent and free, liberated person moves about like a dry leaf. So the dry leaf moves about according to the wind. From where the wind is blowing, the leaf will go. So does the wise one. Because the leaf doesn't have personal will, doesn't have nothing to achieve. Also with the one who is free from desire, the wise one. There is no joy or sorrow for one who has transcended worldly existence. Ever with a serene mind, he lives like one without a body, without the cares of the body. So there's no joy or sorrow for him. He has transcended worldly existence. And this is from where this joy and sorrow comes from. Has transcended, there's no more. Ever with a serene mind, a pure mind, a dissolved mind, an absorbed mind into the self, he lives like one without a body, because for him, he doesn't have a body. He is absoluteness, fullness. The wise man who delights in the self and whose mind is calm and pure has no desire to renounce anything whatsoever, nor does he feel any loss anywhere. So the wise one who delights in the self, that's why he's a wise man, and whose mind is calm and pure, or else he couldn't be delighting in the self. And this mind has been dissolved, so it is pure, it has no desire. Well, has no desire to renounce anything whatsoever, because he knows nothing exists. Nothing outside of him exists, so there's nothing he can acquire, there's nothing he can lose, and there's nothing that he has. So he has no desire to renounce anything whatsoever, nor does he feel any loss anywhere. So this is the state, again, of the self-realized one. The one who lives in ignorance. Renunciation is the cornerstone. But understanding the mind, of the self-realized one is important as a north, and achieving this state is very important. Okay.
Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.